I wasn't going to comment about the group's name change because it's literally one letter that didn't even affect the name anyway. Even right now, I still don't care. However, as far as hearing former Neverlands rant about how the group basically fell from grace, I hate to be that person to say this and all, but I saw this coming the moment i-dle released Nude. Nay, I actually saw this coming the moment Soojin was kicked out of the group. It took me a while to realize how much the girl had an impact on the group's creative streak. I really don't want to sit here and make fun of Soyeon because that's not what this opinion is about. At the same time though, Soyeon is kind of the reason why the newer stuff from i-dle either flat out sucks or doesn't reach the same type of legacy that i-dle's older material has. I'm always the person who says that not every song of an artist needs to be a masterpiece, but it just needs to be good and match the artist's vibe for the fans to love it. For the past few years, that's not what's been happening with the group at all. I ended up listening to Good Thing just to get a full grasp of i-dle's position, and yeah, I see why Neverlands are disappointed. While I don't hate Good Thing like I do Queen Card and Wife, in fact, had this song been released back in i-dle's prime, no one would have had a problem, but at the same time, Good Thing kind of sounds like a solo song for Soyeon and not a group piece with the rest of the members. Yuki does have a good stanza in the second verse, but the rest of the members feel like they're just rolling with the motions, which is not how a pop song should sound like. If people end up liking Good Thing, I don't blame you. For those who don't like the song, I don't blame you either. As for me, Good Thing is in the meh territory, not like I was a fan of the group to start with. At the end of the day, I don't think i-dle are going to bounce back from this unless they make something super revolutionary. Whatever that is, I have no idea, and honestly, I wish I could be surprised. No, seriously, I want to be surprised by the single that ends up putting i-dle back on the map. Bunnies are really doing the surprised Pikachu face at the court's decision to punish NewJeans for breaking their initial ruling. Look, as much as we shit on South Korea court rulings for even the worst of crimes, and yes, we still stand by that, but when it comes to something this simple, yeah, the court was in the right. NewJeans, in an act of anime-style revenge for a pedo woman who rightfully left her position as CEO of Adore, thought in their ultimate teenager wisdom that breaking a court ruling and the rules put in place at Adore's contract was their act of heroism, but all it did was make them look more like entitled brats. If NewJeans really had any evidence of mistreatment, they would have been free from it by now. Seriously, why are we thinking about this case when we should be fighting for the freedom of Maiden right about now? No. Let's take off those rose-tinted glasses and realize that NewJeans do not have a case. NewJeans failed themselves, and the adults that they are surrounded by have also failed them. If anything, these girls need therapy. Stat. I'm talking about extensive therapy that'll probably take years until the girls realize the events that occurred. Does anyone else find it odd that the two ZB1 members with health issues were the only Chinese members of the group?
That's suspicious. That's weird.
Wake 1, do you realize that you're not fooling anybody? You're just as bad as SM Entertainment. There is only one thing I have to say about this.
Good.
I've said my piece about plastic surgery before. It should be optional, safe, and not for children unless necessary. In the case of former trainee A, now SM trainee, 19-year-old Justin J. Tagagi, he's of age in Japan, the United States, and South Korea's retrospect, so that part's not the problem. I'm always in the camp that plastic surgery should never be forced on a person in order to get a job, and that's not truly why I'm mad either. The reason why the conversation came up again is due to video footage of Justin and the visuals he had at whatever event he was attending, and the reactions people had to it made me super uncomfortable, especially on Reddit. Instead of having a serious and productive conversation, everyone is saying, SM did this. SM made Justin ugly. What happened to Justin? He used to be so cute. First of all, we don't even know what surgery he had or if it was just a bad contour job. Secondly, I can imagine Justin reading all of the posts, comments, and articles about his face and feeling dreadful. Even though it's not direct hate, Justin reading about SM making him ugly is not going to help with anything.
If you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all.
Sadly, I had a huge inkling that Vicha were not going to last, just not for the way that I originally thought. I am not making this opinion to gawk at the Vicha fans for supporting the girls. No one knew what was going to happen. We had no idea what the Vicha girls were going through until KG spoke out. I'm probably not the only one to think this, but if Vicha ends up disbanding and the girls return to their normal lives, it might as well be the best decision for everyone involved. No one goes onto a survival show with the idea that being mistreated at your dream job is fun. Most certainly, a bunch of teenagers don't believe that. I know the idea of disbandment is harsh, but in the year of our Lord 2025, I hate the idea of going through abuse to become famous. I wish nothing but freedom and the best for the Vicha girls. Seriously. If you want the whole rant I was thinking of making about the Kiss of Life racist livestream incident, there are much better videos by some of my favorite K-tubers who tackled the topic with more depth than I ever could. But the whole apology Julie made on her livestream explains everything wrong with this girl. If this was Julie's first offense, and had she apologized after the stream had happened, maybe, just maybe, forgiveness would have been easier to give from the public. But unfortunately, that's not the case. For starters, her company and the girls' awful first apologies had already stained their reputations. 2. Julie already had to apologize once for a racist act, and that birthday stream was proof she didn't mean it. 3. She streamed this apology right after Kiss of Life was dropped from LAKCon this year. Maybe it was just a series of bad events, but no. What sold me was already apologizing once for being racist and then doing racist crap again. I can promise you that if a white person pulled this shit off, they'd be immediately canceled. Julie was given a chance and she ruined it. At this point, Kiss of Life are as good as gone. Hybe must have seen my gnarly review because what they released next for Cat's Eye must have been solely created just to spite me.
Wavy and I'm feeling gnarly. Like no soda, the ceiling is starry. I'm a baddie, I'm rocking it hardy. I'm a baddie, I'm late to the party.
Hybe, when I said that Cat's Eye's new song had Ice Spice lyrics, that was not an invitation to add Ice Spice anywhere. And that's all the tea that I'll be spilling today. Thank you for making it this far into the video. If you guys liked what you saw and heard, please let me know by hitting the like and subscribe buttons down below. If there are any topics that you'd like my opinions on that I didn't share in this video, let me know in the comments section. I'm Cait Cher and it's been real. Ciao!